So we're going to welcome now somebody who's helped me to see over many years what it means to be a thermostat. He's been called the conscience of the U.S. Congress. He was the son of a sharecroppers outside Troy, Alabama. He went to segregated public schools in Pike County, Alabama. He was 23 years old as an architect and keynote speaker at the historic March on Washington. He is more respected than any other member of Congress in Washington, D.C. I like members of Congress that are arrested 40 times. I think he's the only one that I'm aware of that's arrested 40 times. And he's taught me over the years, your words don't mean a thing unless they help you move your feet. I want to say thank you, John Lewis, for helping me to love the church again. And come tell us, my brother, what it means now to be the beloved one. Let's give a standing ovation to John Lewis.
It is good to be in the house of the Lord one more time. It is so good. It is blessed to be in this house. Reverend Blunt, Brother Pastor, St. Paul United Methodist Church. Dr. Thurston, I knew your father. I served on the board of SCLC. And I had all of my hair and a few pounds lighter. Dr. King invited me to come on the board. Christian churches together. Jim Wallace, my friend, my beloved brother, thank you for inviting me to come here tonight. You gave me a great opportunity to be here, to return to Birmingham, to return to the state of Alabama, where I grew up. So it's good to be here. We're just here the first weekend in March. So it's good to come back. Now, I didn't grow up in a big city like Birmingham or Montgomery or Washington or New York or Chicago or Detroit. I grew up in rural Alabama, about 50 miles south of Montgomery, outside of a little place called Troy. My father was a sharecropper, a tenant farmer, as Jim Wallace told you. But in 1944, when I was only 4 years old, and I do remember when I was 4, my father had saved $300, and with the $300, he bought 110 acres of land. And on this land, we raised a lot of cotton and corn, peanuts, hogs, cows, and chickens. Jim, you heard me tell the story about raising the chickens. And since we're in church tonight, I'm going to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. On this farm, it was my responsibility to care for the chickens, and I fell in love with raising chickens like no one else could raise chickens. I had to take the fresh eggs to the market with a pencil, place them under the sitting hen, and wait for 3 long weeks for the little chicks to hatch. I became very good at raising chickens. And when these little chicks would hatch, I would fool these sitting hens. I would cheat on these sitting hens. I would take these little chicks and give them to another hen. Or put them in a box with a lantern. I know some of you good Christians are saying, now, John Lewis, why do you mark those fresh eggs with a pencil before you place them under the setting hen? Well, from time to time, another hen would get on that same nest and there would be some more eggs. So they had to be able to tell the fresh eggs from the eggs that were already under the setting hen. You follow me? Oh, you don't follow me, it's okay. I just kept on cheating on this setting hen because I was never quite able to save $18.98 to order the most inexpensive incubator hatcher from the Susan Roebuck store. Any of you old enough to remember the Susan Roebuck catalog? That big book, that thick book, that heavy book, Some people call it the Wush book. I wish I had this, I wish I had that. Other people call it the water book. As a little boy, about 8 or 9 years old, I wanted to be a minister. I wanted to preach the gospel. So from time to time, with the help of my brothers and sisters and my cousins, we would gather all of our chickens together in the chicken yard like you gathered here. And my brothers and sisters and cousins would line the outside of the chicken yard. But they helped make up the audience along with the chicken, make up the congregation. And I would start speaking or preaching, and when I look back on it, some of the chickens would bow their heads. Some of the chickens would shake their heads. They never quite said amen. But I'm convinced that some of those chickens that I preached to in the 40s and the 50s tended to listen to me much better than some of my colleagues listen to me today in the Congress. As a matter of fact, some of those chickens were just a little more productive. At least they could say